please call me out if I'm talking fluff. So the next thing's appreciation. You must understand your personality. Okay, you must. You know, you need to understand in terms of how many opportunities you need, what risk reward profile you need, and what strike rate you need. Those 3 things. That's it. Remember, we went over that before. That is your personality when it comes to trading. That's all that matters. Those 3 things. And you want to find that sweet spot. You also want to know what your blind spots are, what you're not good at. Okay, you want to know whatever your sweet spot is, what's the opposite of that? Write it down and make sure you never develop a system that is like that. If you like being wrong more than you're right, do not develop a system where you're right more than you're wrong. Or the other way around. Reset your psychology. Okay, so it's important that you actually go, I appreciate there's a lot more to this. I need to actually take a minute with myself and go, yeah, I need to get out of my own way a bit here. Okay, everything I've learned up until this point is BS. And I need to admit that I've got this problem. I need to admit that I've got that blind spot. I need to admit that I'm good at that, but bad at that. Yeah, the DISC test. The DISC personality test is a good one for that. Good place to start. You have to know your appetite for risk. You have to appreciate your appetite for risk. You need to exercise gratitude. Very, very important step. People get on this treadmill. They go through the learning process of learning to trade. Then about, it might be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks down the road, they hit a bit of a block and they think that they're not good enough. They think that they haven't learnt too much. At this point, I would go and explain to a family member or someone that doesn't even understand trading. Kids are a great one for this. If you haven't got kids, your partner, your friend down the pub, go and talk to them and tell them what you've learned, and it will just flow out of your brain for the first time ever. It will be the first time your little 3 bones in your ears have vibrated and heard your own voice saying the words that you've learnt that have been stuck in your head that you've never ever told anyone. Right? And something happens. That's why we host the accountability sessions. Something happens by doing that. Yep, your ear bones. When you are speaking, the little bones in your ears are vibrating differently, so your voice sounds different. That's why when you hear your voice back on a tape or a video, you go, oh, I hate my voice. But that's how you sound. It just sounds differently because it's coming in from a different form. And when you actually speak the words, it's the first time you've spoken the words. And you go, wow, I know a lot. And because you've just agreed to tell your friend what it is you're doing, you've got this subconscious pressure to release all this information that's been stuck in your subconscious. And guess what? If you tell kids, they'll go, yeah, but why? Why does it do that? Yeah, but why does it do that? And guess what you've got to do? You've got to answer them. And what it does, it really, really allows you to exercise gratitude. You realize how much you know. You know how much you know, and anything you don't know are going to get ironed out in that session. So the next thing is accountability. Very, very important. Tell others. Get others on board. Tell everyone. Tell Auntie Mavis. Tell Bill down the pub. Tell them what you're doing. Don't hide it. If you hide it, it's just dirty little secret. No one will take you seriously. You haven't got to prove yourself to anyone, but just tell everyone. Get accountable. Tell everyone what you're doing. Say, look, I'm going to give this a shot. I'm going all in seriously. I'm not going to dabble. This is my business plan. I'm going in. Get them on board and say, look, 12 months time, you can laugh at me. But until then, just leave me. Critical accountability. So this is where you kind of put your back against the wall. There's different types of accountability here. This is where, like Akil, he was working 3 jobs, I think, left them all, and went all in on trading. Same with a couple of our members, that's worked for them. I also, when I first started my first business, I did something similar with I just had a new baby and got a bigger house, and we had January blues coming out, and I decided to leave my job. It worked for me. But then there's self-accountability. That's the hardest. That's where you're just on you. Okay, it can work. There's external accountability where you go and tell other people that you've got a certain date to hit. Like I did this when I lost a lot of weight and got like a ripped body in about 9 months. I built a gym in my garden. I was 16 stone, overweight for my wedding, and I thought I'm going to go and put some external accountability. I built a gym in my garden, posted it all on Facebook and said I'm going to lose weight, and I had no option. And the other thing is you need a like-minded community. If you've got people who are, doubtful of what you're doing or trying to pull you back, you probably haven't got any accountability. So you need to be aware of that, and you need the people that are like-minded around you. Okay. What about the members in Tier 1 right now? How great is the community? Like Jess has already said, community definitely makes a difference. It's just everything. Honestly. There you go, look. All the members there. Need you ask. I know. I'm not even talking about trading. Like, without trading, the community's phenomenal. So the next thing is learn. Right? Now, sounds obvious, but there's a reason why we went on the strategy on the 3rd day. And it's because it's later down the line. You do need it, obviously. You need to learn to trade, but you need to learn the right way. It's a structured process. You need to build a foundation. Okay, you don't need those unrealistic expectations. You need a foundation. You need to learn the fundamentals, the basics. I haven't really got time to scroll through it all, but I'll show you another time. So don't learn everything is the next thing. I went through this the other day. Don't learn everything. Remember, going on Baby Pips and downloading the entire Baby Pips library into your brain is not a good idea. If you want to trade, if you want to be an analyst, great. If you want to actually make money, very, very hard. Information overload, that's what you'll get from doing something like that. You need to know your system inside out. Not look at loads of other systems, learn your system. Learn it. Like a mother knows there's something wrong with her child, you want to learn it to that degree. Learn. Next thing is listen. Okay? Now this seems obvious as well, but you want to listen to what mentors and coaches are actually saying. When you go out there and look at other these kind of gurus, listen to what they're saying, okay? And ask yourself, is what they're saying directly helping me now, what they're saying right now, or are they saying they're going to say something, or saying they're going to tell me something later? Because I think you'll all agree, throughout these 4 days, we've taught you a lot about what you need to know, right? I did say at the beginning that I would be cutting the fat and giving you the meat, and I said there'd be no fluff, and I think you can agree, I hope you can agree, that every single word that's come out has been highly valuable. There hasn't been any fluff. And if you think there has, please tell me, because I'll be shaving that out. I'll be trimming that off on the next one. So you need to listen to what people are saying. All right, listen to the coaches, listen to the mentors, and if they're good, understand what they're saying. Listen to them. Pay attention to what doesn't work as well. Don't chase what does work, because it might not work for you, but what you can pay attention to is what doesn't work. Ask, why aren't you doing that anymore? Why did you change from that to that? Why did you stop doing that? Why did you decide to ditch that pair from your portfolio? By doing that, you're going to shave off and bypass mistakes, or you're going to potentially block off a rabbit hole that you don't need to go down now. You just bypass it. And guess what that does to your education journey? Shaves it in half. You can really be efficient by doing that. Pay attention what doesn't work. The next thing is repetition. Listen. As I said the other day, when you watched a film as a kid, you knew all the words. I know all the words to Home Alone still to this day. And it wasn't because I sat there and learnt the words. It was because I sat there and watched it every single day. Now when it comes on every Christmas, I do my wife's head in because I'm reciting all the words as the film's going on. And she's like, yes, we all know you know the words. Repetition. Same with songs. You know all the songs, you know the chorus, you know the verses, you know Justin Bieber, even though you say you don't like Justin Bieber. Come on. Don't worry. There's nothing wrong with Bieber. Nothing wrong with being a believer. But you know the words, and it's because of repetition. It's on the radio so much. So keep listening. It doesn't matter if you don't understand it straight away. Just keep listening. Listen to the market and adapt. You're going to have to listen to the market, right? Don't get stuck in your ways where you think, nope, this has got to turn around in a minute. Like Akil said the other day, he was moving his stop, moving his stop, moving his stop. You end up taking a massive loss because you're arrogant, because you've got this ego that's taken over. The market doesn't care about how big your head is. It really doesn't. Listen to the market and adapt. Don't be an asshole. Okay, this is the final point on listen. Do not be an asshole. Do not ask me something and then do the complete opposite when I tell you. This is an actual word, by the way. You can Google it. If you ask me or Akil or Darren or Charles or one of the professional traders inside the platform, whether that be George, Tony, Gab, any of the guys in the platform, and you ask them a question, they tell you something, and you do the complete opposite, you are an arsehole. Right? Do you want to be an arsehole? Does anyone want to be an arsehole? And you get a lot of that through testing. You get a lot of that through testing. You also get confidence from testing. So as I said the other day, let's just say, for instance, you back tested the last 10 years of data and you was just hitting a bit of a drawdown at the moment and you was a bit worried. You know, you had a decent size account and you just hit 5 losing trades in a row. And what you can do by having that back testing is you go back and you look at the results from last year and the year before and the year before and you say, well, on average, actually, August has been a bad month. Or you might say, well, my maximum losing streak is about 7 trades, and that happens typically every other year. So this is pretty normal, right? I'm not going to worry. And it gives you confidence to continue to trade the plan regardless of taking a drawdown. And you know that because you test. If you don't test, you don't know it. Also helps with your psychology for the same reasons, obviously. You're not thinking, oh my God, it's broken. And it also means you're treating it as a business. If you're testing, you're essentially building a business plan. Does this make sense? You're building a business plan, but it's not based on, let's just say, for instance, you had to go to the bank and you were starting this business and you wanted to be you're a good cook and you like baking cakes and you want to open a cake shop, right? You don't have any money, so you go to the bank and you say, I've put this business plan together, but it's really based on, I'm going to be making these, these vegan cakes, okay? And I want the shop to be for mums with kids, right? Mums with young kids that want to go out and do some brunch, have a little coffee, have a little cake, a vegan cake, and you got all this business plan on the stats of veganism and the growing trend in veganism and, you know, how good you are at being a cook and all these testimonials from people that have bought cupcakes from you. And you've put this business plan together of forecasting your financials and all that based on how many cupcakes you sell. Guess what? You open the shop in a place where there's no single mums or parents with kids. You open a shop where there's no vegans, and the whole thing goes to crap. And you've just taken $100,000 loan, right? And it's all based on your just fingers crossed, right? With backtesting the financial markets, that is transparent data that is there for everyone to see, and you've built a system on solid evidence, right? You cannot lie. The numbers cannot lie. And you narrow a business plan down to just your ability to perform and trade it. So by testing, you are treating it as a business. And you're also developing discretion, because the more you test, the more you understand the breathing patterns, the more you know there's something wrong with the child, the more you've got that kind of connection with the markets and the breathing patterns of the markets. And finally, investment, right? If you've been treating it as a business and you've done all the testing and you've got this business plan, as I said, if you went to an investor and you said, well, this is the results based on the last 10 years. This is my system. This is where I get in, where I get out. This is my forward testing. This is where I've verified it in the live markets. This is what my projections are. This is what my return is. This is the maximum drawdown, because that's what they're worried about. This is the biggest risk. you're going to take. This is the biggest loss you're likely to take. How do I know all this? Because I've tested it. Here's all the data. Do you think you're more likely to get an investment that way? If you get anything, right, over 8% per year, which is extremely, extremely conservative, people will throw money at you if you've got all that in place. Especially now. Especially over the next 2 to 3 years. Yeah, even if you're getting over 8% per year, right? That's a good investment. 8 to 10%. They would literally jump at you. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of money out there. There is a lot of money out there. And as we go into the next recession, I think we're in the recession now, but this is the most interesting time, these next 3 years. As the currency goes digital, the baby boomers go into retirement and try and shed their assets to people that don't want them. There's going to be a big transfer of wealth going on. No one knows where it's going to go. And people are turning to, do you know what the biggest investment was last year? Fine wine. Do you know what the biggest investment was a year before? Classic cars, with fine wine being second. Right? People are turning to those investments now because they don't want to put their money in other stuff. They're looking for other stuff. So with testing, you're going to get a much higher, almost a guaranteed investment. You won't get it if you haven't tested. If you just say, well, look, it looks good. I got this Trading 212 app. Chuck me some money, G. I don't think so. So next thing's trade plan. Right? Trade plan will allow you to know how to approach the markets. It will know how to optimize your system. You'll know the rules of your strategy, the rules of engagement into your strategies we built out yesterday. Did this step by step for you guys. Right? Did anyone do that? Did anyone fill out their trade plan? Sort of. It was a bit long. Okay. Come back to it, Amax. Come back to it. Good stuff. Right? Trade plan allows you to develop a positive expectancy and understand what the expectancy of your strategy is. It allows you to understand your risk management rules. It allows you to understand your portfolio management rules. Obviously, all of that stuff's important. And it essentially becomes your business plan. This is the business plan. The trade plan is your business plan. Remember I said earlier in the week about trading profits and business profits and how they're the same, and the only way you get a profit is by having a plan. This is your plan. It's the key to your business, key to your trading business. And then finally, you've heard us say this a few times this week, IPDE. IPED is on here, which is wrong. God, I said it so many times I spelt it wrong. So hopefully you can see that we really, really, really want you to succeed. Okay? We really do. We really, really do. We just thrive on that, just getting success. And in order to do that,